Icebreaker started by accident for me. I met an American girl and she had stayed on different parts of New Zealand, and as part of her journey she met a farmer and she really wanted me to meet him. She'd met this farmer who'd discovered this way of making a new type of fibre, merino wool, which I'd never heard of. I met Brian Brackenridge, who was this farmer that she'd stayed at. He gave me a t-shirt to try on over lunch. He threw it to me. I took off my shirt, I put this on. It was very basic, but it felt incredible. I was expecting it to feel very heavy and itchy, but it felt soft, it felt like wearing silk. And for the next few days I wore it. I wore it when I was running, I wore it mountain biking, I wore it under my shirt to work. I slept in it at night, and it just felt very different from anything I'd worn, and I needed to understand more about it. So I went and stayed with Brian on his merino station. It was this incredible experience of the animals, the environment and the family living this very harmonious life together. And I remember once in the morning getting up to go for a run in the mountains and wearing this product from this environment and seeing the sheep and kind of recognizing, it was like an epiphany. It was like this fibre has been designed by nature to keep an animal alive in the mountains, and here I am, it's helping me live an adventurous life in the mountains. So that was a really powerful experience for me. And I think that was the moment that Icebreaker was really born. Yeah, so this is my very first Icebreaker. Very, very basic. So it's just the prototype. But what felt amazing was the fabric. But we needed a system for adventurers. So we made a very simple collection, just 5 pieces. My favourite piece is this. This is my old mountain biking top. It's called the Original Zip. This is my old mountain biking top. It's been on a lot of adventures. In fact, I think that's where I fell off. So this is 21 years old now, but it still looks and feels fantastic. Apart from, and we work with over 100 families scattered across the Southern Alps that covers about 3 million acres of New Zealand, and we have contracts with them up to 3 years into the future. And some of those families we've been working with for almost 20 years. So they're long-term relationships to source the highest quality merino wool in the world. And we have guarantees in place around environmental ethics, around land care, and also around animal welfare to make sure that the animals are treated correctly. So when we start with the right product, then we know we can make the best textiles in the world. That's how we keep our quality very high.
Muller Station is now just under 100,000 acres, which is 38,800 hectares. It's running 14,500 merino sheep. No, but he has been here several times, and we've hosted regularly Icebreaker groups of people, always with a lot of fun and always with a huge amount of enthusiasm. And it's so satisfying from our point of view that when they come on board, even Jeremy, but particularly people that know the story, know the product, know something about the pipeline and manufacture, but know nothing about the sheep, and they see a sheep, they touch a sheep, they see the wool on its back, and then the light bulb gets switched on as it moves from the realisation that what they're wearing comes off the sheep's back.
Our relationship with Icebreaker in terms of the business is we have contracts that we have to meet and certain standards. So we've gone about breeding rams that would suit those contracts. And then from a personal point of view, we've been very lucky to have a personal relationship with Jeremy Moon way back when it started. He regularly comes and visits our station, and we have hosted numerous teams of Icebreaker people or people involved in the business from Europe, America, and yeah, we have a great relationship. Jeremy's been here with his girls, and he knows our children, and yeah, it's just a nice, easy relationship.
What I love about Icebreaker is that the technology actually comes from nature. There's a lot of technology in merino wool. It's created by nature. It actually comes from the back of an animal, and its sole purpose is to keep merino wool in the mountains, and it's an adaptation. Regular wool is very thick and heavy and coarse. Merino wool is super fine, and because it's so fine, it increases the insulation value. So for us, as humans, we can now use merino wool and make it very, very light and have an amazing technology from nature which responds to the environment. Hot, cold, breathable, doesn't hold odour. So the idea of learning from nature, drawing on the technology that has been created by nature to keep an animal alive and adapting that into a clothing system for human beings, that's what inspires me.
The other side of the Icebreaker thing is we basically say we grow the wool with passion and wear the product with pride, and there's not many days of the year, Susan especially wouldn't be Icebreaker from head to toe, and myself as well. So we seriously believe in the product, and we also know that it's not just a product, it's a very special product because there is so much that goes into it. I mean, just the fibre alone is 365 days of growth on that, and that fibre tells a story of every day of that animal's life. So if anything goes wrong, it is replicated in that fibre. So, and that is only one part of it. You have to have all the infrastructure and all the land-based things right to be able to graze the stock in a very free range, where they are allowed to express all their natural wants and desires, but are also cared for in a modern form as well. So it's that balance between all of those things that make it, to us, and hopefully a lot of people around the world, more than just something that keeps you warm.
It's managing the environment and managing the genetics and managing the food plane of nutrition that the sheep are on. That is really important. To get a product, a fibre that has grown for 12 months, that's got the right tensile strength, got the right characteristics and contract parameters that Icebreaker want. The animal nutrition is the most important part of that, and clearly with long hot summers and long cold winters with no growth, managing the production pasture curve with the animal's nutrient requirements does become a wee bit challenging at times. But that's why you farm conservatively in this environment, so that the animals, there's a relief valve or a plan B, C or D, whatever it's required to make sure that animal nutrition is kept correctly, because the minute that you break that nutritional cycle and cause a break in the fibre, then it isn't suitable for Icebreaker.
Nature doesn't waste anything. There's nothing in nature wasted. The only part of nature that wastes anything is human beings. It's a uniquely human trait. So sustainability in a business is about the choices of what you start with. For us, it's a raw material. The choices around how we make our fabrics, the environmental ethics, the social ethics, and also how we make the clothing. So if you want, it's a system. Symbiosis, how the different suppliers can fit together. Adaptation, just like in nature, we're constantly adapting to a changing environment, and we're trying to make clothes which adapt to a changing environment for people who want to live an adventurous life. and sustainability in terms of minimising waste and trying to find the fewest things that will offer the most benefit to our customers. So I find those principles of nature really inspiring for me personally as we make choices around the business.